Fuck. It's been a while since a book has affected me this way. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. There's this book that I'm reading right now. This guy, basically, his parents got together because his dad sympathized with his mom because his mom had a rough life, so he sympathized with her. And then she ended up falling in love with his dad, and his dad was like, okay, I'm not in love with you, but I'll marry you because I'm sympathetic. Like, that makes no fucking sense to me. Anyways, later on, fast forward, she ends up getting pregnant with the main character, the guy, and she dies giving birth, and the dad becomes like a raging drunk, upset with how he did all of this for this girl who didn't even love, but she ended up dying anyways, and now he's stuck with their kid, and so became a raging drunk and abused the main character, the son, for years, and it's fucked up, and he ended up eventually going to jail. This kid moved in with his mom's best friend and her family, ended up starting a new life there, and like ended up being like okay, but he's always like held this like grudge against his dad because his dad was like, he just always sees his dad as like this drunk who had no care for anyone but himself, and just as a stress reliever decided to beat his own son until he was bleeding and scarred, and he still has the scars. And a couple years ago, apparently, he recently found out that the husband of his mom's best friend, who's been taking care of him for so long, has been in contact with his dad, and has been texting him and like mailing letters with him and like talking to him, and it's weird, and I don't like it. And turns out his dad ended up getting out of jail and wanted to like come in contact with him, and Mark was okay with that, and Mark pretty much told him all about his life, the main character's life, to his fucked up father. And his fucked up father got out of jail and he changed, sure, but you can't just forget that kind of fucking abuse, okay? And it just really hit me, and it sucks because it's just like you can't just like forget and forgive so easily. And Mark was just telling him his life fucking story. Like, are you serious? Like, Mark is the husband of the mom's friend who's taking care of the main character, and I'm just like, what gives you the right? Okay, first of all, it's his fucking life, okay? Second of all, what gives you the right to hand over this kind of like his life story and what he's going through in his life to his father when he's like so upset with his dad that he doesn't even want to talk to him or like talk about him to anyone? Like, what gives you the right? Okay? And just like, he found out about the letters and he got mad. Obviously, like, it makes fucking sense he would get mad. And Mark just kept saying, but he's your father. I'm just like, I don't give a shit. If someone is your blood and they do that to you, it doesn't matter if they change, okay? That will never, like, change, okay? That will never change. I don't care if they change as a person. The things that they do to you will never change, okay? And that will always be a part of what they did to you, and they have to, like, own up. And you can't always forgive, okay? That kind of abuse doesn't just go away, okay? And Mark was just acting like it was some, like, simple mistake. Like, no, it was fucking not, Mark. Like, I don't care if he's his fucking dad. Like, you can't just forget that. You didn't experience it, Mark, so, like, you can't fucking talk. And it just, like, really hit me because I myself have been abused and, like, know the pain and the hard way to, like, forgive someone for doing that to you. And yeah, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like I was, like, beaten and, like, hurt, like, or scarred in any way. It was more of, like, verbal abuse from my mom, kind of, but she didn't even realize that she was doing it. So I don't know if that's really considered verbal abuse, but I don't know. And then there's also my half brother. When I was, 7 or 8, he started touching me in the sexual nature, and eventually it led to rape, and I, like, held that in for a really long time, and I was, like, terrified of him for, like, a really long time. And even when I did tell the story, I never fully told the truth of everything that happened between him and I, because I was just so ashamed and, like, scared of him and scared of their judgment that, like, I didn't want to tell anyone. And even when, like, I confessed that he raped me, like, I never fully, like, admitted to, like, everything that happened. So he still went to jail because of my confession, but like, it wasn't everything, and I still, like, hold that, and it just, I don't know, I just, like, think about that and my experience with abuse, and just really hit home. And it really hurts, and, like, it's really hard to forgive someone when they do that to you. Yeah. Obviously, I've forgiven my mom because, like, it wasn't her fault. Like, she had, like, a mental problem, and, like, it was okay. And as long as it took me to, I'm still afraid of him. And I haven't gotten a nightmare in years, but still think about it. I used to even hallucinate him, and it was terrifying, especially to, like, a small, almost teenage girl. Like, for years it affected me. It still does affect me. Like, I'm still afraid of the dark, slightly. And I, for a long time, I could not sleep with the door closed. Like, at all. I even hated showers at one point, too, because it just felt like fingers, and it just reminded me of him, and I couldn't do it. So there was a lot of ways that he affected me, but I've grown past it. I love showers now. Like, I think about all, like, I talk about all that, and then, like, it's affected me because I love showers now. Like, really, Angela? Like, that's so deep. Like, you're so inspirational. Like, let's go. But yeah, I've grown past it, for the most part. I haven't had a nightmare in years, which I'm so thankful for. They were terrifying. And for some reason in the dreams, they were worse than they actually were when it happened. Which, I don't know. Because when it happens, it's kind of like, you don't really think. You're kind of like, I guess it's called shock, I guess. And you don't really think, you just, I mean, I fought in the beginning, but, like, when you realize that there's, like, nothing you can do, you just kind of let it happen and kind of just, like, think about something else, because it's not a pleasant thing to think about when it's happening to you. So, yeah. And for the longest time, I hated him, and I was terrified of him, and was guilty because I felt like I let him do it to me. And the worst part was, like, it didn't really hurt that much, so I thought, like, maybe there was something wrong with me for the longest time, too, and, yeah, so I had all of those, like, emotions just trapped inside me, and, like, was always, like, putting them on him, and I finally, realized that I wanted to, like, forgive him, because not forgiving him was just, like, it was not, like, it wasn't just, like, affecting him, not that he cared, because he was sick. But it was affecting me because I just had all this pent up anger and, like, revenge and fear, like, trapped inside me because I didn't forgive him. And it was not really forgive, it was more of just, like, I accepted that it happened and that it was, like, there's nothing I could have done, because it's already happened. I mean, I can't change the past, so I just decided to move on. It wasn't really forgiving, it was just kind of, like, moving on, being like, well, that shit happened. I mean, there's nothing I can fucking do about it. Yeah. And so it just reminded me of that when I was reading his thing with his when I was reading about his thing with his stepdad, I guess you could call him, or guardian, whatever, because, like, he had no right to tell, like, to get in any contact with his dad, or tell him anything about him, despite how he's changed, because it just reminded me of that, and how before I told anyone, and I didn't like how I told anyone either, because, like, I mean, sure, it was necessary that I had to tell someone, and I'm happy that I did, because, like, he's behind bars now, and I found out that he did something to my cousin too, and my cousin's older than me, and he didn't want to go as far as he did with me, but still, I got like, really angry, because, like, I just couldn't fathom that, like, I was like, oh my god, I'm not the only victim here, like, he's gonna target other girls, and, like, I just freaked out and was like, something needs to change, and, like, I need to say something, but that, I was a coward and didn't say anything, for a long time, because I was just so scared, because every time anything happened, he would always be like, it wasn't really threatening, it was just always like, you're not gonna tell anyone, right? And it still haunts me, kind of, this phrase, just every time, but it wasn't really like a threat, it was just kind of like a question, and it happened at the end of any time he did anything, and our little secret was another one too. Sorry, I can't remember what I was gonna say. Oh god. Mind. Stop. Okay. Just, I was really, like, scared, and because of that, and, like, just didn't want to say anything, even after, like, he moved, and, like, I didn't have contact with him, so I didn't say anything for a while, and then one of my close friends at the time, she was a neighbor, and I told her, and then she ended up telling her mom, and her mom told my mom, and my mom had past experiences with that too, And so she immediately freaked out because she's like really overprotective and paranoid. And she immediately freaked out and like demanded that I tell her, and was like pressuring me and upon pressuring me because she wanted me to tell her and she wanted me to go to the police and say something. But I was just so scared and I didn't want to say anything. So my excuse, like every time, was, he tickled me. You tickled me. It's no big deal. You tickled me. And that was my excuse for the longest time. Even when my mom pushed me to go to therapy, that was my excuse for like up to 3 therapists, until I finally just like, I was just tired of it. And like I also found out about how, I think what really broke it was when I went to my 3rd therapist, and I really connected with her, but and we ended up getting kind of close, but she just I just never fully told her until she told me that he had hurt my cousin, and then that's when I lost it and like confessed and like sobbed and like the whole big thing. And then it ended up like I ended up going to, I almost went to court, but I didn't. Instead, we just had an enclosed interview and they recorded me, and then I still didn't tell them the whole truth. Yeah, so that's what happened. And now he's in jail until I'm like 30 something, which I'm still terrified when he gets out of jail. But I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't hurt anyone else. And if he does hurt anyone else, that they're brave enough to like confess. Yeah. I think they should make a thing that like if someone rapes someone else, that like they should have like a mental test and like put them in jail if they need to go to jail. But like if they don't need to go to jail, then like or when they get out of jail, like put them in like an institute or something, because like they're not safe on the streets. But like I'm not the government and I'm not law or authority, so I can't say anything. But still, because it still kind of scares me, like what if he like tries to find me out and is like angry with me. Which highly doubtful, because when you're in jail for so many decades, I highly doubt you're gonna fucking care about one victim. So yeah, and I don't even know how many victims he's had. I just know for sure that he fully like victimized me and started with my cousin, but didn't fully go anywhere with my cousin. And I'm still mad about, like, I can't believe, but he's sick, so I have to just let it go. Yeah. I don't know why his abuse story just reminded me of that. Maybe it's because like I just feel like I was rushed and was forced to say it, and so I ended up like not telling the truth for like a long time. Like I never fully said the whole truth for a long time, because I just felt like I was so rushed. But I mean, the sooner he went behind bars, the better, I guess. But like, so I just feel like I was too rushed and it was too much. Then I feel like that's what Mark did. He would just like went behind his back, and that's the same thing that happened with my friend. She went. I felt so betrayed by her in the beginning and didn't want to talk to her for a long time. Actually, I don't think I ever really fully forgave her. While I was near her, and then when I left, because we moved, when I left, I finally forgave her, but I could never contact her again because we moved, and so I couldn't contact her. But I just, for the longest time, I could never forgive her because, like, I trusted her. She was the first person I trusted with the, like, this huge secret, and she went behind my back and told her mom, and she swore to me that she wouldn't tell anyone, and I mean, I guess it's a good thing that she told her mom in the end, but just the shock and the betrayal of when it happened, especially to my like little 8-year-old self who's like still a victim and still scared. It was just a huge like betrayal and shock. I was just like felt like I got stabbed in the back. I was like, thanks, your trust is so amazing, and I never trusted her again. And yeah, and I think that's the thing when you're like betrayed or like abused or anything. Like you can forgive or you can let go, but you can never like fully trust that person ever again. Like it's just not gonna happen. Like you can try, but it's just never gonna happen because like once you break trust like that, it's not gonna return. Like never fully gonna return because you're always gonna remember what happened. Unless you can erase memories, it's not gonna happen. Yeah. So, I'm a rape victim, and this is kind of my story, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video because I have a habit of titling my videos like weird titles because like that way if anyone searches up like some generic title they won't find any of my videos because these videos are very personal. They're mine. Okay, they're mine. They're like, you know, when you write letters to yourself and then you go back and you read the letters later on, or you write in diary entries and then you read the diary later on. That's what these videos are for me. And so I don't really want like anyone to watch them. But at the same time, I feel like I do want people to watch them because I want people to know my story and to share my experiences with people. But it's kind of terrifying because it's so personal. But at the same time, it's still kind of like a video diary and still helping me cope and self-reflect and stuff. So I'm very confused on how these videos are like supposed to be. But yeah, so that's why I'm like titling my videos all these weird titles because like I don't want someone to look up the title and then like somehow stumble upon my video and then be like, oh, what's this, and then like discover me, because like no, I don't want that to happen. I know eventually people might discover me, but YouTube is a big place. It could take a long while, which I'm hoping it takes a long while. And so like that's why my video titles are so long also. And then also because like just being like I'm a rape victim just seems like so like generic and like fake, because like there's so many like fake story times on stuff like this, and I didn't even really mean to like come out as like rape. It just kind of like flew from my tongue because I have no filter. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Still don't know when I'm gonna title this video. Bye.